Hi. Okay, what we have here is what people call these days a speaker. It's not quite what I would have recognised as a speaker from the olden days, but this is the modern world. As we can see, it's a JBL. It's a JBL Flip 4. So there we go. That's the model of the speaker. It's Bluetooth, so that's how we're going to get the sound into it. And I've had a little bit of a play with this already, so I figured out how it works. You play music into it, and music comes out of it. Okay, just like that. Okay, so it's got a drive unit here, so it's very difficult to see, and it certainly doesn't feel any different, but there's a drive unit there, and there's a drive unit there. So I'm guessing that as a sound engineer, I should put it like that. So both drive units are equidistant from my ears. So I've got left and I've got right. And that's how I would like to listen to it. But people who are not sound engineers, who are just music enthusiasts, of which there are many, they don't necessarily know that. And perhaps they don't know how they're supposed to position it. And if they're positioning it like that, they're not going to get the optimum experience from it. But maybe just by instinct, they'll just realise it goes like that. And in fact, it does stand like that. Here, we've got another drive unit. It looks a bit like a telescope, isn't it? You can see the moon with that. And this, in fact, is a woofer. So it's low frequencies come out of there. And I've tested that. I've tested it by putting my ear right next to it. And what my ear tells me is that that is low frequencies. And that is low frequencies from the other side. So we've got 4 drive units here, unless I missed any. We've got left, we've got right, we've got low frequency left, and we've got low frequency right. So if I put it down there, I can play some music from it. How am I going to get the music into it? Well, I'm going to use my trusty iPhone 6s Plus. I know it's not the latest, but neither am I. Okay, let's just hear some music, or what some people might call music.
We're on Iceland, colder and it's pelting down with rain. There's a geezer on an horse and it's got a funny name. It's cold up west and I forgot to wear my vest. And I've lost my keys and my life is in a mess.
Okay, what you're hearing is mono, because I've only got one microphone recording here. And it's pointing directly at my mouth. Obviously, that's what you do with microphones. And it's picking up the speaker slightly from the side. But obviously, you are going to be able to hear it just in mono. But what I hear is not a bad sound at all, to be honest. From such a small gadget, it's a very impressive sound, and it's very clear. And it does have, I'm not going to say a lot of bass, but it's got a lot of low-frequency content for its size. So you could perfectly well listen to that and enjoy whatever music you're playing on it. So, what I do want to say, most definitely, is that you have to expect your audience to be listening on speakers like this. So, if your mix sounds good to you on your monitors in the studio, but it doesn't sound good on a speaker like this, you're not pleasing your audience, so that would be a bad thing. So it is really, really important when you make a mix and get it as good as you can in your studio on your monitor loudspeakers, then you need to take it to other listening destinations. The car is a really good place. If you've got a clunky old car with a rubbish stereo system, that's a good place to listen to, oddly enough. If you've got a flash BMW with 28 drive units, and a guy did tell me they do have that many drive units in a high-end car, fine, it needs to sound good there as well. It will sound different in these different locations, but you want your mix to sound as good as it possibly can. So headphones, earbuds, smart speaker. Hang on a minute. Alexa, hey Siri. No, this one's not smart. This one's not smart at all. not in the slightest. So that's all well and good. We can understand that, and it's not too difficult to do. But I saw somebody the other day with a speaker very, very similar to this. And they were not listening to it in the favoured sound engineer's orientation. They were listening like this. Okay, I shouldn't laugh really, because people buy these things for convenience, and convenience is what they want, convenience is what they get. And if they like listening to it like this, where's the harm? There's no harm in that at all. People can do what they like. It's a free world, more or less. At least how you listen to speakers is. So all you need to do in this orientation is make sure that the JBL logo is to the front, and then you'll hear the left. Let me just check. Yeah, you'll hear the left from here, the right from here. So it's a kind of like a vertical stereo, which is a strange thing. But it's not necessarily a bad thing, and for something like theatre sound, that would very easily be an application to have a vertical output in your stereo. So you're going to get the sound from here and here. You're going to get bass from here, and I'll talk about what comes out of that in just a second. The thing about bass is it has become conventional over the years. If you've got left, that's your left, I believe. I keep getting this wrong, I know. That's your left, that's your right. There's your left channel, there's your right channel. It's become traditional over the years to place bass instruments in the centre. There are good reasons for that. For the old-fashioned vinyl records, they struggled if you had off-centre bass technically. And also if you're mixing EDM for a club, you can actually get louder bass if it's coming from the centre, because then it's coming from both your left and right speaker systems. So there are good reasons for that, but largely it's just become a tradition that the bass goes in the centre. So there will be bass coming out of that drive unit there, and it probably will be enough for your needs. I'm just going to listen to it again. I know you can't hear the full effect, but I'm going to try and describe it for you. Some more of that dreadful music.
I've been drinking off the edge. There's a nutter at the station, says the king is brown bread. Took a shuffle at the news, then I went back on the booze. As if you ain't got nothing, then you've nothing left to lose. I'm an iPod colder and not.
Okay. It's surprisingly not bad. The difference between that and that really is quite minimal. It's still got the spacious sound to it. It doesn't, obviously it can't be left and right anymore. And, we do have up and down perception in our hearing system, but it's not as acute as left and right, obviously. But it sounds spacious. And in a sense, pumping that bass out into the room, spreading it around the room, is not a bad thing. But what's happening down here? What's happening through this drive unit? Let me just have a listen to that. See, I'm going to do this, so you don't have to. Here we go.
He looks a college kid and he's got a runny nose. I heard he got stole, but it's better down the door. And if you don't want rain, it's better give the dog a bone. We did it for an hour and we still can't find a pub. So we're standing on the corner smoking out this ready rubs.
Yes, there is a surprising amount of bass coming through the surface of the table. So, in fact, in terms of coupling the bass to the air, it could be, I'm actually getting more bass out of this bottom speaker than I'm getting out of the top, because this was firing directly into the air. There's no horn or waveguide or anything like that. Whereas this one's got this nice flat panel to act as a resonator. So I could be getting bass in the air from that source. But it looks all wrong, and from a sound engineering point of view, it definitely is wrong. But it's not as bad as you think it would be. And if people do enjoy listening to music on a system like this, I can hear those pings in the background. That's just the evil that's coming in. If people do like listening to a sound on a system like this, in this orientation, good luck to them, is all I'm going to say. But it comes back to monitoring that your mix has to sound good on a speaker positioned like this. So there you go. I'm going to let you go away and digest that, but it really is. This has been a bit of fun, to be honest, but it is an important topic. You really do want your mix to sound as good as it can on every possible sound system. So I'm David Mellor. I'm David Mellor, course director of Audio Masterclass. Thank you for listening.